Well, we're back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is? It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it is another show, I think. I don't think it's a rerun. No, it's not. Because you're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, owner of RTM Roofing, host of this crazy show. It's another Saturday. Have y'all had enough winds and rain yet? You know, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's gone on this last week. And you know, we're going to talk a little roofing today. No guest today. No guest. Sorry to go ahead and, get the cat out of the bag, but there's no guest today. You're just going to have to listen to me babble a little bit and do what I do. But got to give a big shout out to the guest over the last few weeks. It's had some really, really great shows. I was wanting to change it up a little bit. And, because you can only talk so much roofing all the time. And, and a lot of you know about it. I've gotten to meet a lot of you here lately, too, because a lot of you have been calling. But I definitely want to give a big shout out, to Doc Hollywood last week, a.k.a. Shane Nunley. It should be vice versa, but I've known that gentleman a long time, and I'm extremely proud to see how far he's gone in the music industry and just in the whole industry itself. Because it's like we were talking last week. It doesn't happen overnight, and you got to put your time in. Yeah, sometimes things come at you quickly, so be it. Just like your roof. You hadn't put your time in on your roof yet. I've put a lot of time in the roofing world, whether on one or running a company that puts them on. It's a pretty wild experience going through, those years. But no, it was really good talking to Doc. I love sitting and chatting with him, so I'm gonna give him a big shout out. And then Chris Terry the week before, or Trent Morton, and then Chris Terry, and then Tate Sykes, and then Johnny Harper, and we've got more people coming up. Since we've started doing the YouTube, people listen on the radio, but started doing the YouTube, I've got a lot of people going, hey, I'll come on. I'm like, really? Let's come on. Let's talk. Let's talk. So I've got a plethora of people to be getting on the schedule over the next few weeks and months. I'm gonna scatter them. I'm not going to just do interviews every show, but I love doing that and changing it up. But anyways, back to the story at hand, and the task at hand today is I'm gonna go over a little bit about who is RTM Roofing. I'm not going to do a deep dive, but I'm gonna skip on that pond a little bit. And then I'm going to get into some IKO shingles, our number one shingle brand. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're certified in multiple brands, and they're all good. But you got to have one. There's a number one, and number one in my world is IKO Dynasty. IKO Cambridge, Crown Slate, Armor Shake. They've got a great quality line, and it's built for wind, especially the Dynasty. And I forgot the Nordic. My bad, IKO. I forgot the Nordic. But the Dynasty is my personal favorite for where I'm at, for where my home's at, for where I'm on a hill. We always call it up on the hill. Well, I'm up on a hill, and we get a lot of wind. Well, it's wind 24/7. Very rarely do we have just super calm days. They come usually in August, but my point is that Dynasty was the best choice for my roof. And how do I know that? Because, that's a really long story. I know you're going to be here for a while, but I want to get on into that here in a little bit. But that's what's coming. I want to get into about IKO and the shingle, and then how we do repairs. Because our RTM Roofing doesn't just do roof replacements. We do repairs as well. We do a lot more repairs, actually. We do 2-to-1, sometimes 3-to-1. It varies year to year, but it's not 1-to-1 for every roof replace. We do a lot of repairs because not everything needs replacement, just like everything is not an insurance claim. So I'm going to be talking about that today, too, because I went to a couple. Matter of fact, I'll kick that off with that. Mr. Marcy in Murfreesboro, Mr. Rollins in Murfreesboro. What's up, gentlemen? Both had called me and They are those, I call them a door-to-door solicitors. But, people, I knocked doors in the very beginning when I first started for a company here in Nashville doing roofing sales. I did. I'd only knock on your door if I saw a missing shingle. And that was usually 3 tabs. The wind, it'll rip them up, throw them away, easy to spot. You haven't seen it in, I don't know, 5 years. But my point is, I did. I see it. So I'm going to come over and go, hey, I'm so-and-so and so-and-so, and you've got missing shingles. Would you like me to take a look at it? That's different than some other methods, but regardless, it is what it is. But they called me and they had somebody, come out, or not, they didn't call them, we put it that way, but they let them get on the roof and both of them, and 2 different completely insurance companies, not insurance companies, 2 completely different roofing companies, whoever they were. I'm not going to mention them, good for them. But got on the roof, and looked around, did their thing, and then drew circles, the chalk like adjusters do, drew some circles up there pointing out, and get down on the ground and go, hey, that's damage, damage, damage. And so my buddies called me and I said, yeah, I'll come out. Why don't you call me first? But, but I went out and 2 for 2, nothing's wrong with the roof. Really, other than they both need some tune-ups. Now, Mr. Rollins, he knows the roof's coming. He needs one. It's getting there. It's time, Brent. It's time. But Mr. Marcy, he's got some life left. Now, on his roof, what I discover? Bad pipe boots. His pipe boots are already cracking. Might not be leaking in yet, and that's probably by luck. But still, it's imminent. It's not, hey, you've got a couple years, don't worry about it. Let's keep an eye on it, and just walk through all this. Let's budget for it, yada, yada, yada. But no, this is imminent. It could be this morning. I was just there this week. So it could be this morning. It's finally split and he's got a brown spot on his ceiling now. That's the maintenance that comes with your roof. That's not insurable. That's like you blowing out a tire on your car and expecting the insurance to pay for your car or the tire. The only way they're going to pay for the tire is when they buy you a new car when you total yours. Or if you get in a severe enough wreck that your tires are busted, yeah, I'm sure that's part of it. Check with your insurance company. But what I'm getting at is it's not typical you get a flat tire, it's finally dead and bald and went flat and no one will patch it, there's nothing to do about it. The insurance is not going to buy it. That's maintenance. Same with your roof. Your roof requires maintenance. And I guess I better go ahead and say this. If it is time for that maintenance, then call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com, which is still being built, by the way. It's still being built. But we're almost done. We're almost there. It's going to be great. For all your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, and skylights too. I'm trying to remember. It's been a long day already. But again, 615-500-0751, and we'll get you on the schedule. And we're turning and burning pretty good right now. We can get out to you fairly quickly, at least for the initial inspection. And, typically when we do an inspection, sometimes it all depends. Every client is different. We don't have a one-size-shoe-fits-all except for an IKO Roofing Dynasty system. Other than that, we don't have, hey, this is what you tell everybody, meaning you follow this book and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just go down the list. It's not, because everybody's different. I've done a show about that. But my point is sometimes we'll sit down and talk with you for a while at the house while you're there. Sometimes you're not there. You can't be there. You're working. So we go out, do our inspections, then we come back and we estimate. I know some people get in a rush, but I'm not a big fan of, unless it's a small repair or something that could easily be worked up, of sitting here writing your roof estimate or going over what's all wrong with your roof when pictures tell 1,000 words. And if you happen to be on a roof and taking pictures, you're mainly focusing on, number one, looking for key items, the usual suspects, as I call them. And check. And then you basically, don't fall. It's not that certain roofs, yes, you could easily fall, but I'm saying you're more focused on and hyper alert on being on a roof above the ground. That's number one. Number two, so you take a lot of pictures. So then when I get to come back, or any of my guys come back, they can sit and look at your pictures. The pictures of your roof. Because it's amazed me as many times as I've done this in my career that I'll get back. I think I've got that roof dialed in pretty good in my head. They need A, B, C, D, or I remember this, that. Then I'll get to looking at the pictures where I took a picture of the problem that I saw. Then I'll see another problem right there to the left. Now, it might be minor, some caulking that's deteriorated, a nail pop, things like that, just simple things that you don't catch with your eye because, as I mentioned earlier, you're hyper-focused on mainly staying, above the ground and secondary, checking the spots, and, it all depends on inspection or if you've already had a leak or, any of that good stuff. But sitting there and immediately jumping down off your roof and going, hey, here's your cost, da-da-da, that's what we can do, boom, boom, boom. I don't like it. I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. And last thing I want to do is say, hey, it's going to be $2,500 to do this, this, and this. We get it done. It rains. You call me going, it's leaking still. Where? We fixed all this. Oh, that little bitty nail pop sitting right there because I rushed. I don't like that. So we're going to get it right the first time. You're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 997 WTN. See you in 3. Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. Well, the weather's here. Is your roof okay? We'll call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751. Don't let anybody just jump on your roof. Don't sign anything you don't understand. Give us a ring. We'll explain everything to you. Again, 615-500-0751. Listen to us every Saturday. It's Renovation Nation, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. See you there. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And we're back. Back live on Super Talk 997. You know what time it is. It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Another Saturday. Hopefully your roof's not leaking at the moment, or over the last couple days, or last week. I meant to bring that up last segment. By the way, you're listening to Renovation Nation, coming at you live from Super Talk 997 WTN at the undisclosed location of Studio 378. Sitting here and by the way, you can catch us on, if you're not catching us live on the radio or you missed it, you can check us out on YouTube. I've renamed sort of the RTM channel / Renovation Nation channel to a standard conversation. The letter A, standard conversation. Type that in and you should find RTM Roofing. If not, Google RTM Roofing. You'll find our social pages and all that, because it's not a podcast. It's a live radio show that's actually a podcast simultaneously, just not going live on the podcast side. So anyway, it allows you to, drive down the road, and if you like watching stuff, you can watch it. If not, don't do it. Just listen here on Super Talk 997 WTN. But anyway, I forgot to mention a couple things last show. I write down my notes, and for those of you watching online, I do write down notes. And it's amazing how I jump across. I get a game plan. I'm going to do A, B, C, D, and E. And I do A, then I throw it out the window. Because I want to try to, my personal goal this year, one of my goals is to stay more focused and not squirrel as much. I have a bad time squirreling, it seems. But anyhow, I forgot to mention, by the way, this year RTM Roofing's turning 10 years old. We're still a debt-free company. We're still here. We're still doing good work. And we want to give something back a little bit, so we've added a new discount, which I've been talking about. And I'm going to do a little preface here. all of last year and last couple of years, we've done just a 10% off, for everybody because of inflation and just dadgumming, it's just been rough. And we're help anybody out the best way we can. Well, this year we want to add some icing to the cake. Everybody still gets 10% off. We automatically, any RTM client is 10% off. If it's $10,000, it's now $9,000. That's just what we do. I'm still doing that, no matter if Trump's in office or not. I ain't seen my bank account fill yet, so yeah, it's still rough out there. Let me put it that way. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say that, but yeah, it's just still rough out there. It's getting better. I love the atmosphere, but it's still rough out there. But anyhow, we're offering 15% off this year for all first responders, military, active, retired, no matter the branch, all the way from the Coast Guard to the Air Force and everything in between. Or I'm sorry, Barry, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I don't want to make a Marine mad, but and let me slow down here a little bit. 15% off. We're adding an extra 5% off for first responders, military, active, retired, Gold Star families, and anyone over 62. Another 5% off the initial 10% that we give everybody. We're going to throw another 5% out there for all, again, first responders, whether you work at a hospital, I'm drawing a blank. Police, fire, firemen, policemen, first responders, ambulances. You drive an ambulance, you're in the back of an ambulance, hopefully not the patient. You work in an ambulance, that's a first responder. It's our way of saying thank you. It's someone's got to do it, and God bless those that do. So, anyway, 15% off this year. It'll probably continue, I don't know, but for the rest of this year, that's what we're doing. So I got that out of the way now. It's been a Saturday morning. Y'all have to hold with me a little bit. I'll get back into my stride. But going back to a couple gentlemen I saw this week that had someone get on the roof and pointed out stuff from the ground after they'd drawn circles on their roof saying that's damage, that's damage, that's damage. Hey, maybe it is sometimes, and sometimes it is. But if you don't know, you need to do a little more research, ask more questions, get more detail and proof of said damage. And the only reason I say that, and it's not to say don't file a claim, it's that if both of those gentlemen would have filed a claim, if the insurances would have bought either one of those insurance companies would have bought that roof, it would have blown my mind. That's all I can say. There was no damage. Any adjuster I know would have walked out there and said, that's maintenance. There's no wind, there's no hail. And, when you have hail, let me jump on that for a minute. When you have hail come through, wind's easy. You see shingles missing. That's, for the most part, that's pretty much what it is. Or you got metal that's blown away too with it. You can see that more easier than you see hail, except for if you've got large enough hail beaten down on your roof and you've got at least a 10-year-old roof, okay? Not saying that the roof can't take it, it may work, but if it's truly damaged, I expect to see hits on your gutters, on your downspouts, not all of them, but somewhere. Any soft metals on top of your roof, if you've got those metal box vents, they'll have little dents like you've dropped a marble on them. And the one thing about hail is it will leave a perfect circular, concave, convex, I always get them reversed, depression. It won't have a crease. Only time I've ever seen a hail create a crease is when it hit a corner and it still dented it smoothly, but slightly bent it. But 9 out of 10 times, if you see a crease in metal, it was caused by another solid object. And ice, while ice is a solid, is multiple layers of ice, all built together. So it's, I don't know, I almost call it like a honeycomb. even though it's not technically that way. It just busts in a million pieces, different directions when it hits. Each layer, I say, always just goes a different direction, making that star pattern on your shingle, swirly star pattern, stuff like that. But you can't see that from the ground. You can see your downspouts hit, anything above your waist, because the other's usually your lawnmower, that, you'll be able to run your hands down the corners of the gutter downspout, and you'll feel the little indentions, or just look up, and you can see the dips in if it's been hit, and if you've even known a hailstorm's come through. So there's a lot to take into consideration when someone's on your roof and telling you got damage, or you need X, you need Y, you need Z, when you know nothing of the subject matter. I knew about roofing, but I didn't know it to this scale and this level until I got in this side of the business. I've done construction, but I've put on a roof. I've put on a couple roofs. I've done pretty much a lot of things. But the point being is I was still ignorant, and I'm not anymore. And Brad, who was it? I was talking to somebody this week, and I went out to look at the roof because they had someone else tell them they had storm damage a while back, and he was just double checking. And I went out there and he goes, I heard you on the radio, and it was up on Harrison Ferry. And I can't think of their last names right now. Dadgummit. But anyway, yeah, they had wind damage, but it was one of those, we're going to do some things. I'm going to give them some information. Let me see what they do, because it's a long story on that client. But my point is that I just told him straight up, like, this roof is repairable. Now, this is the third time it's blowing off, or second, or whatever, after another storm, and it's a long story I really want to tell you, but I'll get into the weeds and go squirrel somewhere else. But the point being is if we come out and tell you have no damage, are we 100% perfect? No. Does that mean the insurance won't buy it? No. Does that mean it will? No. So we're going to tell you straight up, and we're going to tell you what we would do if we were that lived there. No, you can do what you want. File a claim every day. They're going to drop you, but no need to file if you don't have damage. Come back, because you're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're going to get into a lot more things. We'll see you in 3. Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. Well, the weather's here. Is your roof okay? We'll call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751. Don't let anybody just jump on your roof. Don't sign anything you don't understand. Give us a ring. We'll explain everything to you. Again, 615-500-0751. Listen to us every Saturday. It's Renovation Nation, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. See you there. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And we're back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is. It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, it is. It's another Saturday. All right, I'm gonna make this segment a little more upbeat. It gets to me sometimes. I don't know. Things get to me. But anyway, you're listening to Renovation Nation, coming at you live from Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, owner of RTM Roofing, host of this crazy show. And just getting back in the groove. I'm used to having someone else in here, and it was sort of nice when you can banter back and forth and then just sit back and listen. And I'm having to tow the boat today, but we can do it. We'll pull this off. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun talking about your roof. And I'm sorry, I'm just inside my head right now. I'm just laughing. Like, we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna tell you how you're gonna spend about 18 to 30 grand, but protect everything you owned. Not owned. Protect everything you own. For most of you, almost all of us. If you live under a house, all the stuff is not in your car anymore. Live under a house. What am I talking about today? I don't know what's going on today. If you live under a roof, which most likely everybody listening to my voice right now does, ironically, if you don't, you're still under something which is considered a roof over your head. And that's how important it is. That's the ultimate irony, is that even if you don't have a house and you decide to go be like Kung Fu and walk the planet, you're still going to get under something anytime you can and protect everything that your worldly possessions, which won't be much at that moment, close to you, underneath it. That's the way to look at your roof, ironically. I mean, that's a sad story, but that's the reality of it, is your roof protects everything you own. And I try to explain that to people, and I realize I come in hot. I come in hot because not just for once in my life, but so to speak, for once in my life, I'm very passionate about something where I can help people. The other things I've been passionate about in my life, I was doing stuff for people, meaning either trying to sell you music, playing music, or building stuff, or your driveways you drive over, riding into your home, all the bridges you go over, I've touched all of that. But this is a lot, to me, you can live without all that other. You can't live without a roof, per se. I'm putting quotes around that, people. Don't everybody calm down. But you really can't. You really don't want to. How about that? Let me rephrase that. You really don't want to live without a roof. Because I always joke that, I can open my windows, turn my AC off, turn my heater off, turn the power off of my house, and at least open the windows everywhere. Leave for a year, come back. Well, it's going to be rough, but everything will still be in there. Oh, yeah, dirty, dusty, whatever. Yes, but it will still be in there. Now, take that same scenario, take your roof off your home, come back in 2 weeks. What's left? What's salvageable? I would say hardly anything, especially if it's raining like it's been doing, if the winds come blowing through, blowing everything into there. Yeah, just the whole 9 yards. That's how important your roof is. Now that I've got you there, let's talk about, most people have never bought a roof. But if you own your home, or are purchasing your home, making your monthly payments, you did buy a roof. In that $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month payment, a percentage of that is the roof. So when it finally dies, what's that percentage? And that's what most people don't understand. And I didn't either, per se. And maybe back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, yes, things were cheaper. They weren't cheap, but they were cheaper. Well, I got my roof for $7,000 back then. And I'm like, yeah, I won't even buy the materials nowadays. But my point is that you are making a payment right now on your roof. Because I want to throw out there, RTM Roofing offers financing. We do have a financing company we work with. And heaven forbid, I hate financing things. I'm a debt-free company, but I have vehicles, right? That's financed. I'm not paying them straight out, but I can sell them for what I owe. That's why I call it a debt-free company. And I don't know anybody else anything. But, well, in business. And my point is that if you have to make a payment, we offer financing. And we can show you, this is the average, what you'll pay, but you've got to call and, we walk you through it. But then you discover, based on your credit score history, and all the stuff that you already know about, because it amazes me the people that will finance everything in their life. You know what I mean? It's like you'll make payments on your kids' karate lessons and your kids' dance lessons and this and that. But then when it comes to your roof, you will not, we'll say something about because you need a roof. You legitimately, it's dead, it's gone. You got to have a roof. It's $18,588, which it seems to be about the average around here anymore. It's between 15 and 18 for some reason. But regardless, it's 18 grand, and people get like, not understandably so. People get like deer in headlights. They just 18,000 for that. And that's why I've sort of prefaced here previously, you're already making a payment. That $2,000 a month payment is 150 of it's for the roof, because you couldn't have got a mortgage without a roof. It's not a building without a roof. It's just 4 walls. So where I'm going is that we offer financing. Should that need to be an option for whatever gets discovered at your house and everything else. So I just want to bring that up, because I've not been mentioning that here over the last few months, and I've been meaning to, because we really do. It's really, matter of fact, we can even show it to you on our contract. Here's the average monthly payment for this fee is this. Now you got to confirm some things with the people, and then you'll find yours. But we can at least give you the ballpark. And if you're in the average, that's probably your payment. And surprisingly, it's not bad. I'll give it that. I thought it was going to be something brutal, where if you've got a $15,000, $20,000 roof, and it's going to be something like $1,800, $3,000 a month or something like that. But it's not. It's a lot less than that. But again, everybody's different. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's roof is different. So that's just a case by case basis. But anyhow, let me get little Miss Livy. Get back, Livy. Little Miss Olivia, our second feral cat. But anyways, let's get back into some other things. But I just wanted to bring that up, because to me that's an important point. The value of the roof. It's just simple to say that. They really don't. And I want to educate people so you don't get caught off guard when you call us out and we come look at your roof and it's not insurable. It's actual just an old car with 220,000 miles on it. You've driven like you stole it and not done any maintenance on it. and it is what it is. But now I want to get into IKO shingles a little bit, and why I love IKO or IKO, and why Dynasty is my preferred choice shingle. It is my truly preferred shingle because it's on my roof. Because to me, it's built for wind, and it really is. It's a performance architectural shingle. It's a level above most of you listening right now what you have on your roof. You probably have a standard architectural of a GF Timberline, a Certainty Landmark, Owens Corning. I can't even think of the one right now. It's killing me. I normally pop them off and stuff like that. Just standard, and they're good shingles. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. They've been on your roof for 15, 18 years. But everything finally wears out, and this is another level above that. That's a standard architectural. IKO Dynasty is a performance architectural. Now, they have a standard architectural. It's called the Cambridge. Sold a lot of those in the early years, and they're great shingles. Then they came out. Then I discovered they came out with the Dynasty. I don't know which happened first, the chicken or the egg. But then I discovered the Dynasty. And when it was introduced to Dynasty, I think it was by Chris Doolin back then. What's up, Chris? But anyway, the point being, they have a synthetic strip in the backside of the shingle, in the laminate zone. Okay? Call it the laminate zone. And it's also where you're supposed to put your nails. Sometimes they hit the true laminated deal. Sometimes they don't. But my point is, there's lines and spaces on a shingle of where you're supposed to put your nails. Otherwise, it's high nailed, low nailed, and there are issues with both of those. But it's really plain to see where to hit the spot on the Dynasty. And when it goes through that synthetic strip. Now, I'm going to make what some people will call a claim, but so far, every pool test I've ever done myself. And what does I mean by that? We make a little A-frame, little wood, like your roof, make a little A-frame real quick on the ground out of supply wood and some 2x4s, right? Make a little sign, looks like a pyramid. Just doesn't have a front and back. But anyway, and nail shingles on it, right? Put 4 nails manufactured requirement. The majority of the time, there's other issues another requirement you got to do at certain things. But 4 nails, and then if you're watching, you lift up and you pull. You don't pull out at you. You do like the wind would do. You unseal it and you lift up and you're sort of pulling back. I've never not had it at least pull 1 nail. I've had it pull all 4. I've had it pull 3. I've had it pull 2. I've had it pull 1. I've never had it pull 0. It may, but I haven't had it. pretty daggone neat. What do you think the wind's going to do? How hard is it to pull out a nail? Try it with your hands sometimes. Well, you're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Come on back in 3. See you then. Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. Well, the weather's here. Is your roof okay? We'll call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751. Don't let anybody just jump on your roof. Don't sign anything you don't understand. Give us a ring. We'll explain everything to you. Again, 615-500-0751. Listen to us every Saturday. It's Renovation Nation, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. See you there. Thanks for watching Renovation Nation. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And you know we're back. Back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is? It's Renovation Nation time. As I get a peanut or something on my mouth here. Yeah, it's Saturday. It's 11:50 something. We're right at it, give or take. I'm not even looking at the clock. I pay attention after all the commercials, but regardless, you're listening to Renovation Nation. Coming at you live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, owner of RTM Roofing, host of this crazy show. Sitting here thinking that I didn't even give out our number last segment, so I'm going to start it off with that. If you're a first responder, a military, active, retired, Gold Star family, anyone over 62, and you think you've got a roofing problem and want 15% off, call RTM Roofing, 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com for all your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, and skylights too. And as I mentioned before, the website's still off, if you will, but we're about to come out all brand new, ready to roll with a lot of information, and not just that you got to read. I mean, as I joked last week with Doc, I get lexdisic, I call it, not dyslexic. I can't even say it the normal way, because I can read something all day long and I'll eventually get it, but if I'm watching it. And that's why I started doing these shows like this, because I'm sure there's some poor people out there like me that I can listen sometimes, but if I'm watching and listening, it's a different story than just reading it. So there'll be some text you can read, but a lot's going to be audio and video, and hey, it's 2025, but I digress. Anyhow, I've got to think of new words to say in between the pause. I can't do dead air. I'm sorry, people. I hate dead air. When I was discussing at the end of the last segment about IKO shingles, especially the Dynasty, my preferred shingle, that's the one I prefer to have on my home, and I've put on a lot of homes out there. It's our number one shingle. That the qualities of it, and it's, will it fail? Yes, it'll fail. Of course it'll fail. Everything out there will fail at some point. But for wind protection, I'll put it against anything. And I don't care what you read online. I get that all the time. I've Googled IKO and I Googled You can Google them all and find out whatever you really want to find out. Meaning, if you're looking for bad, you'll find bad. You're looking for good, you'll find good. Yeah, I'm just looking at experience of 10 years now, and at least 7, 8 of that selling Dynasty. I don't have to look online. I look at my clients, and I look at how many call me back and how many don't with shingles blowing off that has an IKO Dynasty roof. Out of the hundreds, I wouldn't say thousands, but I'd say I might be. I don't know. I'd have to go back and really count, but hundreds of roofs and millions of square feet that we've put on of Dynasty have had two. Now, I'm not going to knock the other brands because they don't have the stripping back. That strip is, and Owens Corning Duration, it's a great shingle as well. It's a great shingle. But they have the strip in front. And it will, I know I was talking about in the last segment that I never did a pull test where it didn't at least pull one nail. But that was me. Have I seen it not pull a nail? Yes. Yes. But my point is that the nail went through the asphalt, pulled first, and the last protection was the best protection, which is the strip. And that's the way I view it. Owens Corning has a strip on top. And will it hold? Sure it will. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it does fail, there's nothing but asphalt behind it. So while it's a great shingle, I want mine on the backside. Hey, if somebody wants Owens Corning Duration, we're certified. I'll be happy to put it on there. But again, every home has its own story, and every person has their own story as well. So it's not a one size fits all the time. That's why we offer multiple choices, and I'm just not 3,000% into one, because everybody's different. You might have a different application needed at your home, where the Dynasty, of course, I would be putting it on your whole house. But for some reason, you got trees all over you, and the lichens and algae and all that stuff is just all over your roof. Well, there's another product that I might lean you towards on that, because that's an issue. That is an issue. I'm not worried about the wind at that point. You got trees around you. Wind's not going to blow shingles off of you. The tree might land on your house. So I really wanted to get in and talk about and dive a little bit into why I like IKO and why it's the number one choice. And I don't care what you read online, because for every bad statement I've heard about IKO, I can give for everybody. It's like, it's the old, care for who's going to throw the first stone. You just put it that way. Yeah, you can't. So no, it's all good. It's just I have to pick one, and that's why. And that's why I picked it. And I'll even go into even farther. I call it their customer service. The representative, Tate Sykes, phenomenal guy. Can get him on the horn right now. I like my customer service. Not saying bad about any of the other people at all, but the customer service I've experienced with IKO and with Tate and with the previous reps, because reps sometimes change jobs too, right? Well, still from the top down or bottom up, it's been consistent service. And so that's a good point, because things are going to fail. At some point, something you've got's going to fail. And I preach it a lot too when I'm at least out one-on-one. I don't say preach it, but I just get passionate and loud about it. Well, I'm going to squirrel now, but shingles are shingles. Let me say that. Shingles are shingles. Cars are cars. They're going to get 100 to 200,000 miles, no matter if it's a Yugo or a Ferrari. So what are you really buying? Don't get me wrong. There's different levels of quality. The strip in the back of the Dynasty is better than the Cambridge. Of course it is. But it's not that much different in price between them. It's really not. So what are you really buying? What you're buying is a service. Because it's not when something goes wrong. Something will eventually go wrong on your roof. Brand new to 20 years old, something will happen at some point. How many times you got to call somebody to come out and remedy the situation, or at least find out what's going on? Is this a natural occurrence? Is this a installation error? Is this just a freak accident? It was great when we left and now it's not. Or is this a limb flew in and hit your house and punctured a hole in the shingle? How quickly, once you realize you've got an issue, can you get the service for what you paid? And sometimes, yes, sometimes that service or that overall pay, I paid a little more. Well, now you see why. I didn't pay double. But there's a reason why things cost what they are. You just have to dive deep enough to see, is really the product that much better, or is this service that much better? And if you get both, which in my opinion you do with RTM Roofing and IKO Dynasty, then it's a no-brainer. But again, everybody's got choices and everybody's different. And I couldn't do every roof I could not do everybody that's listening right now's roof. Put it that way. It'd take me probably 5 years. But I can do a lot and I can help a lot, and we can at least come out and let you know what you got going on. That's the most important, because ignorance is bliss until it's going to cost you a bunch of zeros. That's proactive versus reactive. But anyways, that's been my whole whole deal that I've had to learn the hard way myself is that not doing something or being ignorant of something, and then something happens and I don't know what I'm really doing and buy something and just spend a lot of money and just, bad deal. Bad deal. What else are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about, I don't know, isn't St. Patty's Day coming up this next week? I think it is. Well, I hope everybody has a safe and great St. Patty's Day. Wear your green. Next week, we might have another guest. I don't know. You'll have to come in, tune in, come back, check us out on YouTube, A Standard Conversation. That's how you can find RTM there in Renovation Nation. Well, I hope everybody has a great rest of your day today and a great next week. Hey, tune in next week. You know the date and time. We'll be here. See ya. Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. Well, the weather's here. Is your roof okay? We'll call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751. Don't let anybody just jump on your roof. Don't sign anything you don't understand. Give us a ring. We'll explain everything to you. Again, 615-500-0751. Listen to us every Saturday. It's Renovation Nation, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. See you there. Thanks for watching Renovation Nation. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and share button.